Like on day one, I took a little concept from what makes great economies or great countries, and I shared with us to contextualize in our daily lives or individual lives. And I said, study the economies around the world, study all the nations that you know, study the big nations and the small nations or developed nations and developing nations. It has been proven that nations that create more value and export more ideas to other nations are more developed nations. That's why the United States is is the most powerful nation in the world because they have exported the highest number of ideas to the world. My phone is a US company. This mic is a US company. Zoom is a US company. The laptop HP is a US company. So they export more, you see, and that's why China is rising to where it is. So any nation that creates more ideas and exports more ideas, that nation will be powerful and prosperous. And that's why we have so many poor African countries because we are consuming more than exporting, relevant ideas. Now, coming to us, like I said during day one, when you, now I was saying this in order to connect it to high value activities. So, as an individual, when you come to that place in your life where you carry out what I like to call high value activities, that means any activity that you do that has the ability to contribute to your ability to create more value and to export that value to other people, you too will be a prosperous person. See, like I was sharing my story earlier on and saying that the body by default is designed to be lazy. That's why I started waking up very early in the morning in 2011 or so. Yes, 2011, around June. And my plan was 2 a.m. I think to 2016, I now moved it to 3 a.m. But from 2011 till now, I can count days in my life that 4 a.m. has made me in bed. Very few. Very few. That means I am so disciplined with it that sometimes when I travel and I land in a country at 12 a.m. or 1 a.m., I go to bed, I will set my alarm and wake up at 4 a.m. Because it's not just about waking up, it's about a routine that is critical for my ability to create value in what I do. You see, so the more I am able to maintain my high value creating activities, the more I'll be able to create value and ideas and export to other people. And the more I keep exporting, the more I keep increasing my ability to create more impact, create more influence, and of course, build more prosperity. Right? So it's not just about waking up early in the morning. The idea that I introduced this to my mentees was that it was to challenge them to build that discipline and to convert that discipline and that time in the morning in doing things that enhances their ability to create more value in what they are doing. So when you wake up at 4 a.m., like sometimes we did a book study for 30 days, well, where I shared a book in the WhatsApp group. They downloaded it and they were reading. And then every day we come on a morning school like this, and I teach on each chapter for the next 30 days. So it was a book reading and then coaching. And sometimes what we did was that they wake up 30 minutes at 3:30. It was a mind-boggling activity. You wake up at 3:30, you read for 30 minutes, then you join the call like this at 4 a.m. Right? Until today, I still get feedbacks of many people who attended saying that that single activity changed my level of hard work, diligence, and my ability to understand and build things at a high level. Right? So organizing this morning school again is not just about me teaching you. It's about encouraging that ability that you can be in charge of your own life. You can decide when to go to bed and when to wake up. You build that level of self control. You see, because it has been proven that anybody who cannot tame their appetite or tame their body, that person will find it difficult to succeed. That is why when you look at some of the great in history, I have studied this like in the last 100 years. I've studied empires, kings, politicians, what have you. Many of them that were doing very well and rising, and they ended up falling. What killed them was that they did not know how to tame their body, their appetite. Either sex and the woman pulled them down, or too much alcohol and they made a bad decision, or too much greed towards material things and they could not tame that particular greed, or just they rise up through hard work and they allow laziness to pull them down. You see, these four things destroyed so many great men across different industries. And when you train yourself to, just like this morning school that we did, and you're able to challenge yourself that when my alarm rings at 3:55 or 3:50 and I don't snooze it and go back to sleep, but even though it's painful, it's challenging, it's difficult, but you choose to still wake up and show up on Zoom at 4 a.m. You see, what you are doing is not just about that 4 a.m. It's not just about just today. No, you are training your subconscious mind, your psychology, and so many things. You see, there are so many things in my life I don't struggle to do. You see, when I decided, like I said, I don't watch movies again. You see, it was not hard for me because there's a level of psychology that when you're able to achieve, when you make your mind that I am not doing this. Like for example, I left social media for 1 year. I just came back 3 weeks ago. It did not mean any. It was not difficult to do that because my psychology is so powerful that if I say if I block somebody, I will not miss you. That's a fact, right? And I don't care if you miss me or you don't. I don't. So you build that level of what sometimes some people call it mental toughness because you need that level of oppression to be able to even lead people to create or do whatever they want to do, right? So the concept of morning school is not just for you to show up and let me coach you or train us or for us to learn, but there's something deeper, right? For this edition, it was just under 4 days, but I'm hoping that for our next edition, it's going to be like a 20 days or 21 days or 30 days. Sometimes I do 21 days or 30 days because research has proven that it takes minimum 21 days to establish a new habit. For some people, it's 30 days. For some very lazy people, it's 60 days, right? So very soon I'm going to announce that, and hopefully those who are interested, they will show up and we do it. So today we'll continue with part 2 on looking at how to productize and package your value and your ideas. And like I said yesterday, one of the most important skills that I believe that anybody should be good at is the ability to productize. Because everything about around you right now that you're consuming is because an individual somewhere or a group of people or a company decided to productize an idea, a concept in a way you can understand and pay for it. You see, for example, Zoom was just an idea some years back where somebody thought that people can meet on an online platform like this from different locations and have a meeting virtually. Now, he needs to go through a process of converting that idea into a product, but not just a product, but productized in a way that people can buy it and understand what they're buying and it fits what they need it for. You see, for example, there's a Zoom that when you pay for it every month, like what the one I have, I pay every month, and it has a particular number of people that it can take. So if I want my Zoom right now to start accepting, let's say, 1,000 people on the call, I need to increase how much I pay every month. That is part of productizing. You see, so there's an amount of money that you pay if you want to be hosting people less than 100 people on your Zoom session. There's an amount to pay. You want to be hosting 500 people, there's an amount to pay. You want to be hosting 1,000 people, there's an amount to pay. You see, but these are also levels of productizing. That's why you can see people that have skills, they have value, they have expertise, they have knowledge, but yet they struggle. It's like in the African continent. You see, this is one of the major skills that if many people know across Africa, Africa will grow to being a prosperous nation. You see, the American economy is where it is, and now the Chinese economy, and in Europe, Germany, and South Korea and Japan, they are where they are because they are good at productizing. They are good at it because nobody pays for skills. No, people pay for the value that your skill can create. But you also need to go a step further. How do you convert that value into something sellable that somebody can understand and pay for it? You begin to productize at that particular level. Because no matter, it, or let me say it this way, when you put a lot of effort into creating something, that is good. But another real dimension of effort that will get you paid is your ability to organize that solution or the value that came out of your effort into a sellable form or format. You see, that is why I get to provide a lot of consulting to different businesses, startups, growing stage, and scaling stage. And I always, when I'm looking at what they're doing, one thing I always look at is what is your delivery system for this idea or this value? Because if there is no delivery system, you are going to struggle as far as making money is concerned. And the power of productizing is that it brings clarity. And like I always say, money follows clarity. When it is clear, people buy it. And productizing helps your value and your skill set to be clear. You see, like a lot of people here, or a few people here, are into marriage counseling. You see, marriage counseling is a familiar term around everybody who can read and write, but there is no clarity around that. For it to have clarity in a way people can pay for it, the person who is doing marriage counseling needs to go a step ahead and begin to productize the various value that she can create as a marriage counselor. You see, because marriages have different types of problems. There are marriages going through problems because of poor emotional intelligence, either from the wife or the husband. She can now productize a solution in that area. There are marriages going through issues because of money issues. You see, different problem that needs a different productizing solution from a marriage counselor. There are marriages that will start having issues when kids come in. You see, I could go on and on and on. That's why I keep saying that the skill of being able to extract value, productize it, package it, and commercialize it is a skill that if all of you know, you have bypassed the level of ever being broke in your life or ever being stranded. I always say that put me in any nation. As long as there are human beings there, I will sell something. I'll make money. I'll start making money in less than no time. Just put me there. There are human beings. Just give me a few hours, a few days. I will do something and I'll start selling because it's a universal currency. You see, between money as a currency and certain skill set, you see, certain skill sets are more currency driven than real tangible money because your money can get finished, but your skill never get finished. You just need to know how to package it well and begin to market it and make the money that you have to do. So, yesterday, we spent a lot of time looking at and I explained about 4 different things that you can do or practice in productizing your value or your skill set. And if you started putting to use what we handled yesterday, can you type action in the chat box? Go ahead, give me some feedback. Type some action in the chat box. Type some action in the chat box. Let me see if I have action-oriented people. Awesome. Happy to see that. Happy to see that. You know, one challenge of being a trainer and a teacher is that research has proven that you can teach at your best. Only 2% of the participants will ever practice to the highest level what you teach. You see. So, but I hope that we will not have only 2%, but more people who are putting it to work. All right. Let me give you 4 or 5 more ways or things or actions that you can practice in terms of productizing your value or your offer. And this is something that please take it to heart because for all of you, what I'm teaching you or what we have gone through in the last 4 days, you will keep needing it for the next 10 years, next 30 years. You will just need to improve on it because the more technology comes, the more the world advances, there are some skills that they don't really change. They remain relevant year in, year out. You just need to increase your ability to add more resources on that skill and use it more better and more efficient. Right? So it is a skill that if you treat it passive, years later you discover that you'll be in a spot where you wish you knew how to do this. Okay, so don't only go through. That's why I try to teach in a way that somebody, even those who are smart and they're into training industry and they're in business, they can even just copy and paste and train other people and get paid. Many people do that use my programs and do that a lot, right? Which is fine. If nobody is copying you, you're not creating value at a high level. I love when people copy me, right? So but it just means that I'm a step ahead and you're always behind. So right. So, but it's good. It's good. Now, let me share with us. I want to share 4, and I'm hoping I can share up to 4 because they are very long actions, but I hope that you will have time to do that right. Now, another way that you can productize your value, your skills, your knowledge, what have you, is to build what they call a minimum valuable offer. I touched this concept a bit in another point yesterday, but I want to double down on this in a very clear and precise format. Build a minimum valuable offer. Now, the concept of this is if you have read ideas or books on the lean startup, is around that area. But the goal here is that you're providing a valuable offer at a very small scale based on your overall skill set or value that you want to bring into the market. You see, it's like creating a micro version of your full service or full product. And your mission here is, I'm going to give you some examples. Your mission here is to prove your product, to prove your value, and The real meaning or the real way of proving this value or this product or this service is to create something so fast and test it so fast. That's why it's a minimum valuable offer. And you create that small value, that small offer, and it's a value that you can create it very fast. And you don't need so many resources to create it. You need very minimum resources, but even though you need minimum resources, but what you're creating is still valuable and you can test it very fast. And that testing, the feedback that you get can help you understand that the overall value that you have to offer will be relevant. So with this concept of productizing your value and your skill using the minimum valuable offer, your goal is to run a simple test. And the goal of this simple test is to answer the question, would you pay for this? Would the target market pay for this? So you test it before you scale, before you invest money to scale in a large, capacity. So you're going further to create what you can call a low risk offer. Low risk, low cost. That means low risk in the sense that if people don't end up buying, it will not cost you much. You will still be fine. You will not have sleepless nights. That's why you cannot borrow money to create a minimum valuable offer. Because you should create a low risk, low cost, and fast to produce version of your main offer. But it gives real value and validates interest for your bigger offer. That's the main thing. You want to validate the interest for your bigger offer. For example, let's say that Reverend Violet wants to rent an office, get a secretary, pay her very well, create a coaching or counseling room, put AC, a freezer, natural fruit juice, make it a high-class standard counseling and coaching room for marriage couple. And for her to create what she has in mind will cost her about 25 million francs. Now, it's a full service offer. But if she just goes to do that without validating her interest, without building a minimum valuable offer, what if she's doing that just from her ego or personal interest or passion, and it's not what the market needs? So she may end up spending time and losing a lot of money in building something that people will not need. So this is where the minimum valuable offer now comes in productizing that concept in her head. So what can she do? Step one, she can decide and say, okay, you know what? In Yaoundé, Douala, even Bamenda, every major city now in Cameroon and Lagos, every city around the world now, they have what they call co-working spaces. And in these co-working spaces, they have a secretary, they have good rooms and good waiting rooms and all of that. She can decide and go there. And she can create a marriage counseling product and promote on Facebook. You see, promote on LinkedIn, whatever platform. And people sign up for 1 hour of marriage counseling. It could be focused, could be how to handle conflict as newlyweds. She creates a good product and market it. People register. She now book the co-working space. Most co-working space, they charge sometimes 5,000 per hour, 10,000 per hour, depending on the kind of space that you want. She get one space in that light and then direct the person, please, thank you for booking for the service. They have paid the price that you have put there. Please meet me in my office at this time, at this time. And in good co-working spaces, every main secretary is a secretary for everybody. So your client enters, you tell them, please, when you enter, when you see the secretary or the receptionist, tell her that you want to meet the counselor, Reverend Violet. and the secretary will bring you to my office. You see, she comes, she sits, you provide everything, and then she goes. You can repeat the whole process for about 3 months. You see, it will cost you very little, or maybe zero cost. But within 3 months, you are practicing the minimum valuable offer. And while you're doing all of that, you are gathering feedback, data, reactions, how people think, how they feel, their willingness to pay, and many of those things. You now decide after 3 months, is investing 25 million francs now worth it in renting or even building your own marriage counseling office or lab or whatever name you want to call it? You get the concept. So it's important to do this. In another small scale, she can say, you know what? She can create, let's say, a template, because good counselors, good coaches, good consultants, they create templates, they create checklists, they create, step-by-step procedure forms people can use, what they call, do it for yourself, templates. She can decide, and she noticed that, oh, most marriages, they have issues because of poor conflict management. She can decide and create a minimum valuable offer on, for example, the one-page conflict diffuser blueprint, right? One-page conflict diffuser blueprint. And this becomes a downloadable page. How many of you have ever downloaded something from my online store for free? How many of you have done that? I'm sure many people, right? Hundreds and thousands of people download things on my online store for free. Cheat codes, templates, so many courses, and so on. You see, many of those things, I use them to gather data for my market in order to sell better, right? So she can decide and create what I'm calling the one-page conflict diffuser blueprint, a one-page template that it explains a three structured steps that any couple can go through and resolve any arguments. You see, in one page, right? She created this. She now writes it in one page, and she can now put on her online store. And she can now test it, because you must always test your minimum valuable offer. She now goes on Facebook, on LinkedIn, or on a church WhatsApp group, or her, how do they call this thing now? Status, right? And then she puts it on her status, and she can say something like, would you pay 1,000 francs for my conflict diffuser that saved 10 marriages last week or last month? You see, that's why she's posting it. Don't just go and say, buy this template. No. Would you pay 1,000 francs, 2,000 francs, $10 for my conflict or marriage conflict diffuser template that I have used with clients, and it has saved 30 marriages in the last 3 months? You see? And then she puts the link on her WhatsApp status or on Facebook. And then people pay for it and they download it. And the beauty of this minimum valuable offer is that you cannot do what they call in business to upsell, because anybody who buys your low offer will likely always buy your medium offer. So while they're paying, let's say, 2,000 francs or $10 for, I'm using $10 because there are people from different countries here, right? So somebody who has paid $10 for your low ticket offer will likely pay $50 for your medium ticket offer. So For people who are buying that $10 product that she has developed to diffuse conflict in marriages, she can now send a follow-up email or message or even call to those people and say, hey, I am also offering a 30 minutes to 45 minutes counseling Zoom call or physical meetup to help people or marriage couples to develop emotional intelligence in their marriages and love each other better. Now, it's a follow up to conflict diffuser template. And she now knows that most conflicts arise because most people have poor emotional intelligence. Because how do you say you love somebody in the morning and then in the night you're fighting that person and you guys cannot talk? It's just poor emotional intelligence. And the next morning you say, I love you. Right? So now I'm putting on the psychology of a marriage counselor, right? So she now creates something in that light and say, since you have bought my $10 offer, or my 2,000 francs offer, which is a PDF document, and it has a three-step process that anytime you are angry as a husband, follow these three steps and resolve the argument. Anytime you're angry as a wife, follow these three steps and resolve the argument. She now take it a step further and say, oh, business psychology states that if somebody can buy a product from me for 2,000 francs or $10, it means that this person will likely pay me 50,000 francs or $50 for a 1 hour coaching. She now goes back to those people. She can put through a call, one-on-one call, and tell them, hey, I hope that you enjoyed the. See, I was thinking on my feet. What was I calling that thing again? Conflict diffuser, right? I hope you enjoyed the conflict diffuser template. I am also giving out a 45 minutes to 1 hour coaching or counseling session for couples like you to share with you my emotional intelligence tactics for couples that increase love and fun in your marriage. Would you be interested to book a session? It costs 50,000 francs. I guarantee you, 99% of them who already paid for your template will pay for that product because they want to gain more value and have better marriages. But where did all of this start from? From creating a minimum valuable offer. Let me use another industry. There is Mispa here. Mispa is one of my mentees, so I can use her a lot because I know her business a bit, right? So Mispa is into fitness or weight loss. Let's say weight loss coach. Now we're trying to create for a weight loss coach the same minimum valuable offer. Remember, for you to productize your idea, you have to create a low risk and fast offer that will cost you as little as possible, but it's very valuable that somebody will happily download or call you to get it or pay for it so that you begin to validate if when you fully launch your full offer, if they will like it. So you start from that low level. So she now decides and say, you know what? She can decide to create a template, a meal plan. Let me use a meal plan because people who have weight loss issues, they eat too much. Most people, right? Some people have medical conditions, right? She can decide and say she will create something like a 3-day kickstart fat flush meal plan, right? Like flush your fat out, right? So she creates a 3-day, that's a name, remember we spoke about signature name yesterday or signature method yesterday, right? So I'm using that strategy now for today. So she now says, she now creates a meal plan and she gives the name 3 days kickstart fat flush meal plan. So anybody reads, they see the promise, or in 3 days, I will start the process of flushing out all this unnecessary fat in my system by eating the right food that is recommended by an expert who is a weight loss expert. You get the concept? Now, This plan will cost Miss Pat little or nothing because she has the knowledge in her head. She just needs to sit on her laptop, type it out very well, edit it very well on Microsoft Word, convert it to PDF, and then put it online in a way people can now buy for it. As simple as that, right? So when Mespa does that, the goal is she create a printable PDF document that maybe will have things like, high protein meals or low carbohydrate meals or meal guide, or how do you call these things? I'm watching my calories, all these things that women talk about. I have no idea. But grocery list or what to buy and not to buy, right? Preparation tips, whether to eat it raw or eat it heated. All these things that women confuse themselves about, right? Right. So she start from there and then she creates in a PDF form and then she puts it online and she tests it. She can say something like, if I created a 3-day belly fat flush meal plan, would you pay 5,000 francs for it? Right? Or I have created a belly fat meal plan that if you follow, you will start flushing your fat belly in 3 days. Now remember, that is not her major product. She had just created a low offer that has costed her nothing. All she needed was her brain and her laptop to type it, edit it, convert to PDF, then put it online where somebody can download. And then she charges a small fee, $1,000, $2,000, $5, $10, what have you. Then when they start downloading it, it is now feedback for her that, oh, people like this. Oh, this sounds like a solution to many people. All right, how can I double down on this and make more money from it? You get the process. She cannot go now a step further and say, oh, you know what? Let me create a 1 hour or 60 minutes fat flush coaching call, right? Right. You say 60-minute fat flush coaching call. And the aim of this coaching call is that I will talk with you and I will create a personalized meal plan for you and give you preps, give you instructions. And if you start following them within the next 30 days, you will see the following result as far as your, fitness is concerned. So people who downloaded that meal plan would definitely happily pay for her 60-minute personalized meal plan coaching that focuses on flushing out fat bellies or whatever they call in that industry. So you get the concept? So always one way to productize your idea and your value is to create your minimum valuable offer. So when you validate it, then you're good to go. Number 2 for today. What is another way that you can productize your value or your skill set or what you are currently doing in order to make money out of it? Document what people ask you for. Yes, document it. There are many of you here that there are many things that people come to you for to solve for them, but you have never sat down to document how you solve these problems, what you do for these people, and so on and so forth. And I'll show you the power of this so you understand why this is important for productizing, right? But document what people ask you for. That is your market. There are many coaching solutions I offer today. It started from one individual. That's how I operate there. Anytime anybody inbox me and asks, because there are people that if they notice that you do this, they will assume that if Dr. Jobert can do this, or somebody will read my write-up and assume that, oh, if he can write about this, It therefore means that he can likely solve this kind of problem. And maybe I have never seen that I can solve that kind of problem. And when they come and ask me, and I look at my skill set and experience, I'm like, oh, I can actually help this person. I will help them, and I in turn convert what I've never had as a product into a product. There are many of you here. In short, let's do a quick activity. In the chat box right now, write down top 3 things that people come to you and ask you for help. Just think through your life right now. Think about friends, family members, colleagues. What do they come and ask you for that you always help them solve? Write in the chat box. You'll be surprised that, oh, people actually ask me for this, this, and this. And you may notice that there's a repeated pattern around it. Challenge yourself, and when you, after this program, go to sit down and write more areas. Right? It's very important because that is your market. The point is, you are not yet making money from it because you have not activated the law of structure. You see, because I always say that what people keep asking you is not a favor. No, it is a market demand in disguise. There is something you have that the market is demanding, but you are too lazy or you have not discerned. You see, discernment doesn't mean that you discern whether who is gossiping or who hates you. No, you also discern that there are some things that when they happen around me, to me, that's how I live life. And that's why it's good to be a spiritual person. There are some things that when they happen around me, I focus on discerning it first. Hey, is this something critical for my journey in life? I discern from a spiritual perspective first before a physical perspective, especially if it relates to another human being asking me something or having a discussion around something. I discern it first, right? So many of you have areas that can help you make a lot of money. And people keep coming to you and asking you for questions, but you have never discerned beyond that discussion. You see, you have never seen yourself beyond that dimension of operation, right? So many people ignore patterns. You see, one of the best ways to also be a successful person in any generation is be somebody who knows how to spot patterns, observe patterns. It's one thing that has helped me a lot. I'm good at it. I'm good at spotting patterns. I'm good at spotting patterns. If I see 1, 2 things, it happened the second time, trust me, I've noted it. If you are my friend, if you have done something 1 or 2 times and I've never said it to you, trust me, I know it. Right? Because it's something I've trained myself to know how to do. Many people are not able to spot life-changing opportunities because many times some opportunities that will change your life will need you to connect about 3 dots. Pick 1 dot here, pick 1 pattern here, pick another one here, connect the 3, then boom, there's a breakthrough. You see, and when you're able to connect patterns in your life also, they will help you. And many a times, the patterns in your life points you into your business, into your own breakthrough. You see? All right, good to see that. Keep sharing that. I'm going to use some of these things to make examples around this. All right? Good. Now, so you begin to look at what do friends always contact you for? Like what many of you are writing right now in the chat box. What do clients keep requesting again and again? Now, for those of you in business, this is a critical question to keep on asking in your business. What do clients keep coming for again and again and again? Double down on that value. Refine it, package it, repackage it, break it into 2 packages, whatever. But anything in your business that clients keep requesting again and again, don't treat it lightly. Right? And I always encourage people, sometimes you can ask customers, what made you to choose us in buying from us? Because you need that data. You see, many of you are struggling to invent value from scratch. No. Sometimes you don't need to invent value from scratch. You just need to package already what people already see as value in yourself. Some people keep saying that I don't know what to sell. I don't know what to sell. But if you sit with them for 30 minutes, you see so many things they have that they can sell. You know why? Because many people keep thinking of invention instead of thinking of refinement. Package what people already see as valuable in you. Every human being has it. You see? And I always tell people that repetition from others means relevance. All of these things that many of you have written in the chat box, if people repeatedly ask you for it, that is proof of your relevance in your generation. The point is in a small scale. How do you take that now into a bigger scale? You get the point? Repetition. What people repeatedly ask you is proof of relevance. And here's the truth. Relevance gets paid when it's packaged well. Relevance gets paid when it's structured in a way that people can understand. So there are many of you here that what you keep doing for free might be your most scalable business that will change your life forever. The point is, you have not spent time to think through it. Because whatever your friends, family members, or social media friends, what they ask you is proof of trust. And my belief in business is that if they trust you enough to ask for help, they will pay you to go deeper if you package it well. That's my belief. You see, so all of these things that you guys have written, that people trust you enough to ask you, is sign that they will pay you for it if you package it well and begin to resell. You get the point? So all of these things you guys are writing, use all the lessons we have shared from day one, day two, day three, and now day four. Package those things, test it, sell it, distribute it, scale it. You'll be amazed at how much extra income that you can make. And for many of you, that will even help you make more times two in a month, times three in a month than what they're paying you where you're working. You see, for example, there's somebody else that he was in construction, right? Now, let me give an example in construction under this uh, point that we spoke about. Remember, this point, the focus is on what? Document what people ask you for. Somebody here said that he is in construction yesterday. So I'm trying to take people from here to give practical examples. Now, let's say this person, is this you? The name is what? Ndenke. I hope I got your name right, right? Now, let's say he observes the pattern that people keep asking him something like, how do I choose the right plot of land to build my house? Is this a question that people normally ask you? Anybody in construction here, right? But let's assume that that's a worry for many people. How do I choose the right plot of land to buy my house? Because not every location is good for building. Not every, site is good for a great house. And if you don't have the experience of picking the right location, you can just buy land anywhere. And most people sell lands, they don't care whether it's a good land, good location or not. They just want to make their money and get commission, right? But if you want to build a house, maybe likely you would like to talk to a builder or an engineer and ask the person, how do I'm planning to buy a land and build a house. I'm coming to you as a building construction engineer. How do I choose the right plot of land to end up building my house? You see, let's assume that people come to him and they ask questions in that light, right? So he can now decide, oh, that is a good question that people come to me, and he has been giving that advice for free. He can now decide and say, you know what? I'm going to convert this advice that people I give to people for free into a paid checklist or into a paid mini consulting offer. So he can now create a checklist and give a name like 7 hidden pitfalls to avoid when buying a land, right? 7, 8, or 10 hidden pitfalls to avoid when buying a land to build your house. You see, he uses that and he creates a structure. He creates a checklist, or he can even do a recording course like this, video, 20 minutes, 1 hour, what have you. And then in things like that, he can add things like how to verify land ownership, the kind of questions to ask the community head or the quarter head, soil testing, or what does it take to get a permit to build a house in this location. These are technical things that an average citizen will not know that they need to find the answers to, but he knows. So you see, he now creates a course out of this or a checklist out of this, put it in an online platform, and when anybody comes to him now next time and they ask, oh, Mr. Engineer, I'm thinking of buying a land to build my house in the next 2 years. How do I choose the right plot of land or the right location to buy my land before building my house? And I say, oh, really? I actually have a course, which is a 1 hour course, where I have a checklist, a 3-page, 5-page checklist that gives you in detail the top 10 hidden pitfalls that you must avoid when buying a land to build your house. It costs just $10 or $15 or 10,000 francs. Download it from here and you're good to go. You see, that's an example of converting what people have been asking you and you give out for free. You have now converted into a paid product, into a paid offer. This same process I've gone through, you can do it in any business. All of you can apply this in anything that you're doing. Okay, let me use uh, computers. I saw Philips. Okay, let me use Philip to do this again. Let's say I used to repair computers. 2009, 2010, I used to repair computers, install softwares. I can still scatter a computer. That's why my laptop is always fine. It gets bad now, I repair it myself. I just need the right equipment, right? So I used to repair computers. And one popular question that people can likely ask could be, how can I make my laptop to last longer? How can I use my laptop in a way that it can last longer? Which is something many people don't know how to do. You see, there's a way you can use your laptop the right way, and you can use it for 4 years, 5 years, and it will never go to a technician if you know the right things to do. You see? And this also a kind of question that many people don't even ask. And he can see create a product around that area because it's a valid problem and promote the product in that area. So the question the customers are asking him, let's assume that they keep asking Philip when they buy a laptop from him, and they keep asking him, how can I make my laptop to last longer? So if I was Philip now, I'll go a step ahead and create a downloadable, PDF document, or even print a small pamphlet if need be. And the name of that pamphlet or that PDF document could be Laptop Longevity Secret: 10 habits that can save you 50,000 francs in repairs, 100,000 naira in repairs. You see? So I was trying to think through the name. Laptop Longevity Secret: 10 habits that can save you 50,000 francs in laptop repairs. That's the name of that little offer or productizing what people ask him. You see, he now creates it and he cannot decide, oh, you know what? Anybody who buys this particular type of laptop, I'm going to give you this offer for free, this product for free. You see, so you can now use it again and gain more customers or provide, extra services or what they call, after sales services to their customers. Whatever he does with it is a win-win for him and the customer. You see, but the goal here is what? Converting what people ask you often into a product. So I've given you guys two examples. So all of these things that you guys have written that people ask you often, how can you go convert it into a product, into a service, or what have you? You'll be amazed at how many products that you can create for yourself and for other people. Right? Now, the last point, and then we're done for today, is build a first result trigger. Now, it's a bit linked to the minimum valuable offer, but it's a unique business concept I like to teach because it's so powerful. Build a first result trigger. You see, people buy from you because of results. People buy because they believe a result is possible. So with this, I think it's 0.7 or 0.8 in total, I've seen yesterday. With this 0.8 from my list of strategies here, is with this 0.8 of building a first result trigger, the goal is you establishing what is the one fast result you can help someone to get, either in 24 hours, in 3 days, in 5 days, in 7 weeks, or in 1 week, whatever average duration in your industry. You see, one thing that you should strive to achieve as an expert in your industry is, if an average professional in your industry, let's say, takes 5 days to produce a significant result, how do you perfect your process and your skill set to achieve that in 3 days or in less time? That's how I like to operate. You see, if somebody comes to me for a consulting or coaching program, I know an average time that an average coach or an average consultant will create significant result. So I've built my strategies and things that I do in a way that if an average consultant can take 30 days, I want to give you significant result in 20 days or less. You see, and that comes with superior strategies, testing, and of course, the willingness of the client to also do their part, definitely. Right? So this point is build a first result trigger. So when you want to productize your value and your skill or your experience or your knowledge, one thing you can do is, how can you productize it? By building a first result trigger. Right? So, because people buy what they believe the result is possible. So how can you, the goal here is, how can you create results very fast? How can you create results very fast? Why? Because your mission here is to remove doubt as fast as possible so that they can pay you more subsequently. Because anytime that doubt leaves the mind of a customer, when you sell more offers or more services, they'll buy from you easily. So here, the result doesn't have to be big. It just have to be real. Why? Because in business, early result builds emotional connection. You see, so build a first result trigger. Why? Because in business, anytime you create result for somebody faster, it builds trust. And trust leads to scale. Somebody who has trusted you, if you charge them double or times 10 by giving them higher value, they will happily pay. You easily scale your business when you have established that particular trust, right? Let's say, for example, let's go to the, uh, um, let's take marriage counseling, for example, again, right? Remember the goal here is how do I create fast results as a marriage counselor? So, can she create a proven conflict resolution process that if any couple goes through, they can resolve any conflict within 12 hours? Can she create a template that no matter how intense the conflict is, if they go through her conflict diffusing template within 12 hours or even 6 hours, if they practice what she has documented as conflict or peace reset strategies for the couple, can they achieve that result within a short time? In a way that when the couple go through and they come back to you, they're like, hey, do you know, after since yesterday, we have not argued, we have not fought, and we are discussing better, and we are seeking a lasting solution to this problem. Remember, your goal here is you're trying to create a solution that can create result for your customers as fast as possible. Let's talk about the laptop guy. Let's take Philip again, for example. You see, the fast result goal he can create can be speed up a slow laptop in 3 hours or less. Because one main challenge that when I used to do laptop repairs is that people used to complain that my laptop is so slow. And I know about 7 different ways to cause your laptop to speed up faster. And an average laptop user can never know things like that. It's too technical, you see. But if a client comes to them and the laptop is coming on, everything is fine, but it's just slow or doing some funny things, and it's like, oh, this laptop seems so slow. You know what? I'm going to speed up your laptop in just 2 hours or less. Like, what? You can do that? Yes. Just give me even 60 minutes. You see, fast win. If at the end now he says, you know what, this laptop needs a good RAM, and the RAM is going to cost you 20,000 francs. You see, you already established trust by solving their slow laptop issue in just 60 minutes. If you now charge them for a RAM and RAM installation fee, they will happily pay, because the quick cleanup that you have done, or the laptop speed boosting service you have provided, has established a quick result in their own eyes, and it has developed some level of trust between you and the person. If you now indicate that, hey, this laptop, for it to be better and continue to serve you as a professional, I recommend that you should buy a 2 gig RAM and install it in this laptop. You will have a better machine to use. You get the concept? So when you're trying to productize your skill, you're trying to productize your knowledge, one thing you want to achieve is how can you help that client to achieve results faster, right? It's a powerful way to start the journey of productizing your whole value in the process. All right, people, that is it that we have for today. I actually have another speaking engagement like in 15 minutes. So I have to round up, catch a breath, and I get there. All right. So I hope that this was helpful. You picked a few tips. As I said yesterday, I think that left like 5 spots, right? If you want me to work with you, this is beyond just coaching, because I'm going to take some of your things and spend time alone and develop some offers for you based on what you do and your skill set. If you want me to work with you and develop your offers of what you do, right, and create more offers, reach out to my one of my team members, that's our number there. I started 250K. Some people said that, let me give special discount. Within 48 hours, if you pay 200,000 francs, I'm going to work with you, not just creating the offer, but help you show you how to do mass distribution and mass commercialization. You're interested, pay to that number, WhatsApp her, tell her you're paying for coaching with me. She will know what to do. All right, people, that is it. We are not done with days. There are two extra topics I wanted to teach us in this 4 days of morning school. Okay, so the last two topics, they focus on distribution and commercialization. And part of distribution and commercialization, I wanted to focus on social media, how to use social media platforms to distribute and commercialize, right? We have not covered that within these 4 days. And um, within next week or the other week, I may announce a quick, urgent 2 days morning school in the community, in the WhatsApp group, so that we join and I handle that. And then the next morning school will likely be, I want to do something special just for business owners, right? Focusing on how to, for people that you already have businesses, you're already making money, but you want to extract more value from within that business. All right. It'll be like a 3 days or 4 days morning school. And then the next one will likely be like a 21 days morning school. We're going to pick a book, read a book, do coaching around that book, and address some things in that area so that we keep people on fire and in a disciplined manner. All right, people. God bless you. No time for questions. I wish I could, but I need to catch up my breath and get ready for another speaking session in exactly 15 minutes. All right. All right, people. God bless you all and see us in the community. Cheers.